Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to all my beloved friends and lecturer. Today we would like to present our topic, which is COVID-19 impacts on global economy.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Ahmad Mohammadin. Introduction. What happened to the world now? There are new viruses found that cause a disease called COVID-19. It first detected in Wuhan, China, and break out in December 2019. The virus has been spread to many of the countries and be labeled as a pandemic. Because of the COVID-19, MCO or Movement Control Order has been announced, and this step has been taken by many of the countries in order to fight the disease. Due to the issue which is MCO, many sectors have been affected by it and have gone through downside, especially economy. Next, we go to concept and definition. What is COVID-19? It's identified as a zoonotic coronavirus. The disease name is COVID-19. Why the virus is named as Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus? Why is MCO applied? The World Health Organization states that this virus can spread highly between direct interaction people to people and can live up to 2 weeks. And it is labeled as pandemic because there are no vaccine or nobody have antibody towards it. So make sure to follow the steps to prevent the outbreak. Next, the economic sector that affected by the COVID-19 due to MCO is investment, trade, tourism, sports, and medical, and we will go through it one by one.
Assalamualaikum. Okay, the next point is impacts of COVID-19 on investment. Okay, basically what is investment? Investment mean putting money to expand a project, and the main purpose is to gain profit and for get a future income. Okay, investment can refer to any mechanism as long as it generate future income. Okay, for example, estate, stocks, building and facility. Okay, it is important for investor to be professional to learn from this challenge. What challenge? The COVID-19 challenges. Okay, the next point is impact on investment product. There are lots of products, but I list down only 4. The rest of it you can Google it. Okay, the first is estate or property. Estate or property such as building, facility, and so on. Okay, the next is digital assets. What is digital assets? Digital assets such as Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and so on. The third product is bank products. There are a lot of bank products. Different bank offer different products. Okay, the last one is stocks. Stocks mean share, which is we buy and sell share on the trading analysis. The next point is immediate investor actions. Okay, first, engage companies that are failing in their crisis management. Second, engage where other harm is being hidden behind or worsened by the crisis. Third, reprioritize engagement on other topics. Fourth, publicly support an economy-wide response. Fifth, participate in virtual AGMs. AGMs mean annual general meeting. The sixth, be receptive to requests for financial support. 7, maintain a long-term focus in investment decision making. Okay, in a nutshell, COVID-19 give challenges and obstacle for investor to being professional to overcome this challenge, to adapt and be a fast solver. That's all.
Okay, first of all, we will discuss about impacts of COVID-19 on tourism. Okay, what is tourism? The definition is there and you can read it by yourself. Okay, tourism is one of the biggest source of economy in many countries. As we know, tourism activity does affect the economy, such as generates foreign exchange, creates new job and employment opportunities, stimulates trade, income and entrepreneurship, especially in small business sectors. Okay, for tourism, we have divided into three parts. Firstly, domestic tourism. Domestic tourism is a tourism activity that involving residents of one country traveling within the country only. Because of COVID-19, on 24th January 2020, our government officially suspended domestic and overseas group tours and suspended sales of certain travel products such as flight tickets and hotel bundle packages due to COVID-19. This policy not only affects domestic tourism, which generated 774.9 billion revenue in 2018, but also outbound tourism. Next, Umrah activity. Umrah activity gives big impact in tourism economy in Saudi Arabia. In 2019, Saudi Arabia issued 7.6 million Umrah visas this year, and 7.3 million pilgrims have arrived in the country, according to data provided by the Hajj Minister. But on 2020, none of peoples can go to Masjidil Haram for perform Umrah activity. Last but not least, flight ticket. As we know, the basic needs of tourism is the transportation. As stated by AirAsia on 26 March 2020, that it is temporarily hibernating most of its fleet across the network and temporary suspension of all international and domestic flights from 28 March until 21st April 2020. With this action, all of the customer can refund their ticket that they have bought before this. It has affected the company's profit because they need to give back all of the money to their customer, and at the same time facing the loss because they need to stop their service and automatically will stop their income.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I will present about the impact of COVID-19 or coronavirus on global trade. Before we go to the impact of COVID-19 on global trade, let me know about the sources of economic damage in Malaysia. The sources of economic damage in Malaysia are divided into two. The first one is the knock-on effect from the impact of the coronavirus abroad, and the second one is generated domestically due to the newly imposed movement control order. Next, the impact of COVID-19 on global trade. Long time before the partial lockdown measures in Malaysia, the outbreak of the new coronavirus in China had created wide-ranging supply and demand shocks that have reverted across the globe. Commodity exporters around the world braved lower prices as Chinese demand collapsed, while global manufacturers face production cut as Chinese factories are locked down. Next, the impact of COVID-19 on global trade. In Malaysia, the effect of this China shocks may be dire. The Malaysian economy is amongst the most highly exposed economies in the region to both Chinese demand and supply. China is Malaysia's number one trading partner, a large source of foreign investments, and its top tourist scenes outside of Asia.
Okay, now we move to impacts of COVID-19 towards sports economy. Before that, we need to know the importance of sports. First, sports improve community health and productivity. Second, mega sporting event helps in developing infrastructure, generates employment, and secure inflow of foreign capital. Third, sporting events also helps in generates player and athletes. And the last, sports contribute significantly to economic development of a country. Alright, so now we move to COVID-19 effects on sports economy. First of all, cancellation and suspension, which means the loss to the organizer and country itself due to the cancellation and suspension of a sporting event. For example, the suspension in Olympic Games in Japan this year has resulted a loss of 13.4 billion US dollar to the organizer. Secondly, no attendance of supporters. When there are no attendance of supporters, the profit from ticket sales for a sporting event will be gone. Thirdly, athlete income also will be affected. It is because most athletes are paid their salary per game. Lionel Messi, who could lose about 646,000 US dollar for every game Barcelona don't play. And the last but not least, television broadcasting contract. Television broadcasting contracts are paid to the teams involved for broadcasting each match they played. But due to the cancellation of match for almost all sports, the media also did not want to risk loss.
Next, let me continue to the impacts of COVID-19 on medical manufacturer industry. First thing first, what is medical manufacturer industry? Medical manufacturer industry, or also has been called as healthcare industry, is an integration of sectors within the economic system that provide goods and service to treat patients with preventive and rehabilitative. This industry has been known as one of the world's largest and fastest growing industries. It has consumed over 10% of gross domestic product, GDP, of most developed nations, and this industry also can form an enormous part of a country's economy.
Next, what is the impact of COVID-19 to this industry? The World Health Organization (WHO) has warned that severe and mounting disruption to the global supply of personal protective equipment (PPE), such as gloves, medical masks, respirators, goggles, face shields, gowns, and aprons that has been caused by panic buying and rising demand. In order to make sure that the need of medical equipment during COVID-19 can fulfill the demand from the global, WHO has called on industry and government to increase the manufacturing by 40% to meet the rising global demand. This unexpected incident has been drastically increased the medical manufacturing economic by 15% in order to fulfill the demand from the globe. As example, Top Glove Corporation Berhad, which is one of the world's biggest supplier for rubber glove, has expects its profit margins to increase between 20% and 40% in the second half of 2020 due to the higher demand for rubber glove following the COVID-19 pandemics. Other than that, a lot of investment have been made to support the research and discovery for the development of vaccines, treatments, and methods to provide better healthcare. It is to provide incentive for both public and private sector to develop, test, and produce new vaccines and treatment modalities to find most efficient methods to sanitize healthcare facilities and equipment to otherwise protect healthcare workers from COVID-19 transmission. This work should additionally include trials of electronic health record or the other data monitoring to speed up the learning and provide better estimates of risk, outcomes, and strategies to lower the risk. In a nutshell, it is true that coronavirus has a lot of negative impact. There are thousands of employees lost their jobs, companies face bankruptcy, and the countries have to pay $1 billion on the medical aid. But this pandemic also have its positive sides. As we can see, it can be a booster for some industry and economy. As example, the medical manufacturing economic have been increased by 15% during this pandemic, when there are many others industry have been collapsed. So, I would like to remind all of us as a Muslim that we should believe there is always a wisdom behind what happened.
Next, let's talk about the government actions to stimulate the economy. On 27 March 2020, Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin as Prime Minister of Malaysia announced the 250 billion ringgit about People's Economy Stimulus Package, which will benefit all Malaysians. The 250 billion People's Economic Stimulus Package are divided into three. The first one is 188 billion ringgit was allocated to protect the welfare of the people. The second one is 100 billion to support businesses, including the small and medium enterprises. And the last one is 2 billion ringgit to strengthen the country's economy.